Welcome to TinkerzLab. I have got another Linux app that I'm releasing that I created for a specific need, and it is called MyWebShare. I wanted something that was going to be really easy to use, and since, smartphones, tablets, computers, regardless of what operating system you're using, they all have access via a web browser. So I wanted to be able to set this up for access via a web browser. A way that I could share data from my local computer that people could access via their web browser. Okay, and so that's exactly what this does. So let me bring up my file manager here. I'll show you. I've got a folder here called WebShare_old. Okay, this was the folder that I had set up earlier for the installation of this app, and we're going to go through downloading it, unpacking it. We'll take a look at the files. We'll go through installing it, using it, and uninstalling it when you don't need it anymore. Okay, so I have got a URL here, and this will be in the pinned comment below this video. So if you're interested in downloading and using this, okay, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring up my web browser. I'm going to paste and go to this URL, and that's going to bring you to my Google Drive. And you can see it says TinkerzLab_webshare_v1.zip. So it's an archive file. It's a zip file. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to download it. And in my downloads, I'm going to create a MyWebShare folder. Okay, and as long as this is here, I'll save it, and then if I ever have a need to uninstall it, I will have the files right there that I need in order to do that. Okay, so we've got that downloaded. Let's go to my file manager here and go to my downloads folder and to MyWebShare, and you can see here's the zip file. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to tell it to extract it here. And then that creates a WebShare version 1 folder. So if I enter that, you'll see there's a GPL3 document here, which gives you information on the license. It's open source. There's the icon for the application. There's the desktop file, which will create your menu entry for the application. I'm using it on Mate desktop. Here is the WebShare README file. We'll take a look at that. The MyWebShare application, and then there's an install script and an uninstall script. So let's take a look at the README file. It gives you the version. It gives you the software information. It says you should receive a copy of the GNU General Public License along with the program, and you did with the GPL3 text file over here. All right, the legal part, this is to protect me from you. This application is used at your own risk. We assume no responsibility for any damage, data loss, time loss, or any other unintended consequences that may result from the use of this software, so be aware of that. It works fine for me. It may not work fine for you. Description: you can easily share files and folders on the local network via a web browser, as we discussed earlier. It's a simple GUI to create a web share using the built-in HTTP server that Python 3 provides, which is great. And I had been setting it up from the command line using Python 3, and then I went looking for a graphical user interface that would allow me to configure that rather than having to do it from the command line all the time, and I could not find one. So due to my own personal need, I decided to sit down and create a little applet, a little GUI applet, which would do all this stuff for me, without having to remember all the commands. So, and that's what it is. So it creates a WebShare folder in each user's home folder to use as the default. You can choose a different folder other than the default folder. The default port is 8000. However, you can choose a different default port. You can choose a different port as long as it's above 1024. Anything below 1024, you need root access to be able to use a port below that. Make sure that you're not trying to use a port that's already in use. Okay, so, and I will show you why did I choose port 8000 for this applet. Okay, well, here we go. TCP port 8000 on Linux is a highly popular non-standard port most commonly used for local web development servers, REST APIs, and containerized applications. Because ports below 1024 require root access or root privileges to bind, developers frequently use port 8000 as an alternative variation of HTTP port 80, which is your normal web port, to run applications as ordinary users. That is why I chose port 8000 as the default. All right, so, and you can specify a different port, as I stated. Just make sure that it's not in use by anything else on your system. Okay, so the URL is the computer's network IP address and default or the specified port, and we'll take a look at that. A dialog lists the WebShare URL, so you can copy and send the URL via email. You can send it as an image if you want to take a screenshot with your phone. You can send it via text. However you want to relay the information, you can write it down on a piece of paper. There is no SSL encryption, so there's no secure socket layer encryption. It is not a secure web server, so be aware of that. The requirements to use this is, of course, Bash, which comes with your Linux system, Python 3, which should already be on your system. The one thing that may not be on your system is Zenity, and this is the application that provides the graphical dialogues. Okay. I've tested this with Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, which is a long-term service version of Ubuntu, and I'm using Mate Desktop. Works fine for me. Should work with any Linux distro meeting the requirements above. The author is me, and the YouTube channel URL is listed here. And like I said, there will be a link to download this applet in the pinned comment below the video window in the comment section. Okay. Installation and uninstallation. The application folder and files are packed into a zip file, as we already looked at. Unpacking the zip file, and inside the application folder you will find the install script, uninstall script, application, and associated files, which is what we looked at over here. All right. Install using the install script from the bash shell, okay, and that's MyWebShare _v1 install.sh. That is your install script. And let me see, and then uninstall by using the uninstall script from the bash shell, which is the uninstall script here. Note, the default WebShare folder is not removed when uninstalling. So when you launch the application the first time, it sets up a default folder for sharing your data, and it's called MyWebShare. It will be under a subfolder in your home folder. Okay. When you uninstall the application, it does not remove that folder because you may have files in there that you do not want deleted. So that is why I left that folder alone in the uninstall script. So if you don't need that anymore, you'll need to manually remove that folder and the files that it contains. Just so you know. All right. This is to ensure files left in the WebShare folder are not deleted by accident. Remove any files from WebShare and delete it manually. Okay. So there is most likely a demonstration video, which is what you're watching right now, on how to download, unpack, install, and use the application. All right. So now that we've gotten all that out of the way, and now that we've unpacked everything and we're looking at our install files, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click and I'm going to open a terminal from that folder so that we can go through the install and uninstall. All right, so let's do a list right here of the folder. All right, so there is a MyWebShare version 1 install sh script. So I'm gonna highlight that. I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna go over here at the prompt. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so what happened? MyWebShare v1 install.sh command not found. That's right, it's not in my path. So in order to reference the current folder, I need to put a ./. Okay. Now if I right click and I paste that command behind the ./ and I hit enter, what happened now? It says this script must be run as root or with root privileges, aborting. run the script with root privileges. An example of the command is sudo, which is your super user command if you have those privileges on your system, and I do. /MyWebShare v1 install sh. So let's highlight all of this. This is the command that I need to use. So I'm going to go back to the prompt. I'm going to right click. I'm going to put paste. I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to ask me for my password. And if I have the privilege of running as a root user, it will allow this to work. So I'm going to put in my password. I hit enter. And it says installing done. Wow, that was really, really fast. All right, so I want to go to my own folder up here. And as you can see, the MyWebShare folder does not exist yet. The new one does not exist. It won't be created until I actually run the application. So I've just got my old WebShare folder here, but it will create a new one called MyWebShare. So now if I go into my menu system and I go into accessories here, I should see an application called MyWebShare version 1.0, and there it is. So now if I click on this, I get a dialog that says MyWebShare version 1.0. It says select a folder to use for the WebShare. And if you look now at my home folder, you will now see that after I launched it the first time, it created a MyWebShare folder because it didn't exist. So it created it for me. So I'm going to say, okay, let's go ahead and select the folder. And as you can see, it defaults to MyWebShare. I'm going to go ahead and select that folder. All right. And then it's going to default to port 8000. And we discussed why I chose that port. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at port 8000. I'm going to select OK. And then it's going to ask me if I want to go ahead and start the MyWebShare server so that it's available. First, what I want to do is I want to go into, let's go into my downloads folder. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy my WebShare folder that we created when we downloaded it, and I'm going to copy that over to my WebShare. All right, so that there's something in there for us to look at. Maybe I will go back and go into, I don't know, let's go into pictures maybe. Let's go into pictures and grab, let me see, grab some icons maybe. Yeah, we'll grab some icons. We'll grab some icons and copy in there just so we got something else to look at. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to the MyWebShare folder. We'll drop those in there too. Okay, just so we know what we should see when we go in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select, go ahead and start my WebShare server. And it says that the WebShare server has started, and this is the URL. So it's grabbing my IP address, which is 192.168.1.103, and port 8000. So if I highlight this and I copy it, let me grab that, copy that, and then if I go into my web browser here and I paste it, lo and behold, there's all the files that we have in the MyWebShare. And there's the folder that we copied, right? That's got all of our application, WebShare application. So go back, and we copied our icons in there, right? So we got desktop recorder, MyWebShare, vector file. Number 2, I've got different versions of the icon that I was creating for this application. All right, so now if I go back into my WebShare and I say, you know what, I'm done sharing. Everybody's got what they needed. I'm going to stop sharing it now. So now it says my WebShare server has stopped. So let's see if that's true. So I'm going to hit enter again, and now it says the site can't be reached because the web server is now shut down. All right, so, somebody says, well, you know what, I didn't get everything copied. Can you start it back up again? Yeah, sure. Start it back. Got the same URL. Lo and behold, there's the files again. Okay, so now they've got everything they needed. Let's go ahead and stop that. Let's exit. Now, do you want to quit the application, or do you want to select a different folder to use? Well, let's go ahead and let's see if we can select a different folder to use. Maybe, let me see what folder I want to use. Maybe we'll just go to the downloads folder. I've got nine folders in my downloads folder. So let's go ahead and select that as our WebShare now. Downloads. Okay. Let's make it port 9000 this time. Just for the heck of it. Okay, so now, are you ready to start the WebShare? Yeah, let's go ahead and start it. All right, so I'm going to copy this URL now. And now my WebShare, if I go back into my web browser, now my WebShare should be my downloads folder, not the actual WebShare folder anymore. So I'm going to paste that, and then lo and behold, yep, there's my download folders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 9 folders. The same folders that you see here are now listed in there. Okay, so that's working just great. All right, I'm done sharing that. Let's go ahead and stop it. And I'm going to go ahead and exit the application. All right, I'm going to exit the application. I decided, you know what? I think I'm done with the WebShare application. I think I just go ahead and uninstall it now. So let's do a list again. And there's my WebShare version 1 uninstall script. So let's go in here and let's copy that, and then we're going to paste it here and hit enter, and it says, oh yeah, my command not found, because once again it's not in my path. So / right, for the current folder, and then paste it there and hit enter. Whoop, this script must be run as root. Oh, I forgot. So it's giving me the command here to use, so let's go ahead and highlight that and copy it and paste it at our prompt. Application uninstalled successfully. So was it? I don't know. Let's go to my home folder, and my WebShare folder is still there with the files that I copied to it. But oh yeah, we read that when you uninstall it, it will leave that folder alone so that files aren't accidentally deleted, right? Okay. So we'll just go ahead and we'll remove that. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so let me see if my application is still here in accessories. All right, so I don't see my WebShare anymore. So it does look like it removed the application, right? It's not there anymore. I did put a link to it down here on my taskbar, MyWebShare 1.0. So if I click it, yeah, nothing happens because it's not there anymore. All right, so just to see if that's true, let's go ahead and install it again, because I want to use it, right? I want to use it in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and install it again. It says it's installed. Is it though? Let's see. I don't see my WebShare here, right? I removed it. Let's see if it recreates it and if this icon down here on my taskbar works now. Yep, sure enough. It's installed again, and my WebShare folder was just created. All right, cool. All right, I don't need it right now. But anyway, that's the way it works. It makes it really easy to share data from your workstation with other people that are on your network that you may want to share data with. It makes it really fast and really easy to set up and send people the URL a lot faster than having to get online and download it that way. So have fun with it. I enjoy creating things like this and sharing it so other people can benefit from it. But it was just one of those things that I needed that I couldn't find, and so I created it myself. So anyway, that's a wrap on this episode. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time in the Tinkerz Lab.